It's your boy, Adi Yahic, here for another episode of Godspeed Audio. We're here to show you the way to the best songs and best albums of the week. In with me today, we have Ismail Diarra.
What's up? I'm back after a brief hiatus,
He missed one show. Why'd you miss the show? Because you're not a real friend, I remember. All right, so the album of the week is a classic album, because every 4 weeks we do a classic album, and this one is Pet Sounds by the Beach Boys, which is one of the best albums of the 60s. I would say my number 2 or number 1.
What's number 1 then?
It's up there with The Velvet Underground by The Velvet Underground, which is a great album. And one that I really want to get on vinyl, but it's like $1,000 to buy an original. So that's not happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you heard the Beach Boys before, Ismail?
Bro, who hasn't heard of the Beach Boys?
That's true. Hasn't heard of the Beach Boys. I don't know. Actually, Ismail, if you don't mind, can you start recording on my camera? I'm going to put these on YouTube at Godspeed. So if you guys missed the show, if you want to catch it up, you want to see what we do live during the breaks, you're going to want to see that. The first song I'm going to be playing is Wouldn't It Be Nice by the Beach Boys. So that was Wouldn't It Be Nice by the Beach Boys, and I'm sure that's one song that you guys have all heard before.
Of course, bro.
Yeah, that's a classic, by definition, a classic.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite love songs, actually. It is. I actually put it on a mix.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Cringeworthy thing of all time.
Okay, thank you, Ismail. But I don't think this song is cringeworthy in any sense of the word. Would you say it is, Ismail?
No, of course not.
It's not.
The Beach Boys is the vibes.
It is the vibes, and actually very like summery surfer vibe, right? That's kind of what you get.
They play it at Soak City on loop.
Soak City at Knott's Berry Farm?
On loop.
I haven't been there in a long time, so I wouldn't know. But it seems like, like, are you an avid Soak City?
No,
fan?
we just used to go there all the time. That's why.
Oh yeah, I remember we used to for day camp.
For camp.
Yeah,
exactly.
that was a long time ago. Me and Ismail used to go to a day camp together during the summer in like what, to elementary school,
like 2005
stuff like that. Yeah,
to like 2012.
Those are the days, man. I remember all the staff loved us. Remember we had that dance battle?
Whole lot of gang.
Yeah, and you destroyed me. That was in Hollywood. That was fun.
Whole lot of gang expletive. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah. Okay, Ismail. So we don't condone that language. So the Beach Boys is made up of Mike Love, Al Jardine, Bruce Johnson, Carl Wilson, Dennis Wilson, David Marks, Blondie Chaplin, Ricky Fattar. There's a lot of that's the extended band, but the main member in my eyes, I guess, was Brian Wilson. Brian Wilson was the lead, really, when it came to the creation of this album, Pet Sounds. This was really his vision. You know what I mean? And I think after a couple albums later, he left because he just didn't feel like they were onto anything good anymore. Yeah. And then after that, the band kind of went downhill in my eyes. It became one of the best. It went from one of the best boy bands ever, like a revolutionary band, to just another like boy band filled with like 4 cute, as in what they were labeled as, members.
It's like when Zayn left One Direction.
Exactly. They just kind of went downhill. I mean, I'm not trying to say Zayn is at all Brian Wilson, because Zayn is not Brian Wilson. Hear that song that he released?
What, Zayn?
Yeah.
Pillow Talk?
Yeah. I did not want to hear him talk to his pillow.
That's not what that means.
I know.
Okay.
I know it's not, but I felt like I had to say something. All right, so you're definitely getting surfer vibes, especially with that song, right?
Sure, yeah.
Like I can imagine, like that'd be like a movie about people in California surfing, because they are California. Like this is probably the most prominent California band.
When people think of like, oh, we're finna go to California, that's probably the song that plays in the back of their mind.
Yeah, this song, and also their song, I Know There's an Answer.
Is there an answer?
There's always an answer. According to the Beach Boys, because they know the answer. I know the answer. I Know There's an Answer by the Beach Boys. So yeah, right.
Yeah.
Is there an answer, Ismail?
There is an answer.
There is. There's always an answer. And the answer to the British invasion really was the Beach Boys. Tell me that wasn't smooth.
What?
All right, you got to give me that was smooth. So
No.
during the 60s, most of the popular bands were from Britain. Like that was like the height of the British invasion. You got the Beatles, right? But really, when you think of like the best American music during that time, it really, like in my eyes, just goes like there's no doubt that the Beach Boys are up there as like probably the best American band
group. Yeah.
There was a lot of good like soul music coming out of that time.
Oh yeah. Ooh.
Like from Harlem and Louisiana.
What,
but
we're
really,
talking about 60s, right?
yeah, because that was during the civil rights movement. So a lot of people found their voice in music, you know, which happens a lot. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of music about politics.
Oh, yeah. True. Of course.
But this is definitely not about politics. This is about something completely different, and it's just good vibes, you know.
Yeah.
And that's something that's something to appreciate too, you know. Like sometimes, like, you know, like a lot of people listen to music because like the movement it has on them, you know, like they think it's important or like really like well made. With a lot of like amazing production and stuff like that, and like this album is full of amazing production. Like that song had great production on it for the 60s. To have all those different layers and all that
60s
stuff like
has
that.
some good music coming out, of course.
Yeah,
but
for
like,
sure.
When I think of the 60s, I don't really think of the Beatles.
What do you think of when you think of the 60s?
Like James Brown, The Temptations, Aretha Franklin.
Okay, and that's a little bit later, I think.
But it's around the same time.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't think you can think 60s and not think Beatles, not think Beach Boys.
It's just what I grew
know.
up on. Like the Beach Boys, like of course you gotta respect the legend. You gotta respect like their clout basically. But like
They do have clout. Like if you look at any image of them, like they're all styling all the time.
It's just what I grew up on. It was different. Like I feel like one of the only ways that people our age get into like old like all these oldies like the Beach Boys is because of their parents. My parents just did not listen to the Beach Boys.
I agree with you, I guess, but that wasn't my experience because my parents didn't listen to any American music at all except like U2, and I love U2. Like Joshua Tree's a great album, but that was really it because they were obviously from a different country. So I really got into music by myself and with my like the help of Gabe, you know, who's on the show a lot. What?
Continue. No.
What was that face? No,
Nothing.
you can't make a face and then have me comment on it and not explain it.
It's too late. The moment's passed.
The moment's passed. I'm disappointed. Dang. If only I could bring that moment back.
Is that your attempt at a transition?
Why do you say that?
I don't know. You just say stuff like
No.
that.
No. I was just saying, like, I was trying to persuade you to explain, but
too late.
yeah. So Gabe, who's on the show, he showed me a lot of the music I listen to. He just gave me a flash drive. They kind of got me started. Now I don't listen to almost anything off that flash drive except like a couple. Actually, Pet Sounds was on the flash drive. So Pet Sounds, definitely, like one of my first favorite albums, one of my first favorite classic albums. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I can get why, like, that's why it stuck with me. It's because it's one of the first like albums from the '60s I listened to that wasn't the Beatles.
It just depends with what you start with.
Exactly. So yeah, but even if you didn't grow up listening to this, you can still say that you can still agree that it's great music.
Yeah, of course. It's solid music.
Solid.
There's no argument.
Yeah, there's no complaints too. Like I can't imagine someone listening to this and not smiling. You know what I mean? It's just so contagious. Like I feel like the Beach Boys when they were making this album, and I feel like this is probably the last album where it was like this. They were just so happy. You know what I mean? Like they enjoyed making this album.
Yeah,
and that enjoyment, you know.
Regardless
goes
of what you want to say about the Beach Boys, like whether you like them or not, like you gotta respect the legacy they left behind and what they did to music as a whole, like the impact they had on music and like how a lot of people changed their sound because of them.
Yeah,
base the sound off of them.
God only knows what music would be like without them. And God Only Knows is the next song we're playing. That was a terrible transition.
It was actually kind of smooth if you just went into it.
Yeah, I know. Okay, I'm disappointed in myself, but we're gonna play God Only Knows. And we're going to make you guys all feel better. So that was God Only Knows by the Beach Boys. In the house, we have Davis and Dominic came in.
Yes, sir.
That's a good introduction. So that was God Only Knows. And that song is more a little sadder than the previous ones were.
Yeah.
You know, like the first two songs we played for Dominic and Dang, Dominic and Davis. I know.
A lot of alliteration, man. It's cool. I get you.
Yeah, I know exactly. Where I first played "Wouldn't It Be Nice," and I know there's an answer, which I saw you singing along to across the room.
I heard "Hang On to My Ego" there. Your ego, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a good song.
Yeah, that "Hang On to Your Ego" is a great song. Too bad we don't have enough time to play the entire album, which I would love to do. You know,
if only. You know,
if only.
It's a long album, isn't it? How many tracks is that?
Like a few.
Like a few. I feel like you wanted a little bit more than that. A little bit more detail. Yeah, I would. They're all good. They're all worth listening to. I don't think there's a single bad album or bad song on the album. You know.
I think it's better than the White Album.
By the Beatles?
Oh yeah,
probably.
Everyone compares it. Some people say White Album. No. It's
I wouldn't even say the White Album is the best Beatles album.
Agreed.
Yeah, I would say Revolver is, in my opinion. I own it on vinyl, actually, no original version.
I didn't know you were edgy. Dang.
Yeah.
Oh,
what do you mean?
Avi's favorite thing to do is flex his vinyl.
I do. That's
pretty
my
sweet,
favorite thing to do. But would you say it's the best album of the 60s?
Yeah.
You think
I think
so?
it changed modern rock and roll. I think it's shaped basically chord structures and everything that I follow writing music.
Revolver or
Absolutely.
Pet Sounds?
Pet Sounds, definitely. Revolver, too, I love.
What do you think about the Velvet Underground?
One of my favorite bands. Freaking godfathers of punk rock.
Yeah. I would say the Velvet Underground, like the self-titled, is probably my favorite album of the 60s.
Absolutely. Influenced David Bowie, too. That's a hard one. They're different.
Yeah.
You know,
they are. They're very different.
It's a hard one to juggle.
I guess.
I think like overall music-wise, I think Pet Sounds did more, but I think the music I like is definitely stems back to Velvet Underground more.
I can see that. Yeah, because like you would say like surfer music isn't that big of a thing anymore, but like really the Beach Boys influenced so much more than just that, you know?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, but like this was really like when you thought California, you thought the Beach Boys, you know, like they had like a level of like influence that was just really unheard of before that time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't know if it was. I wouldn't say it was unheard of, but like they definitely did have like an immense influence on all the music. And actually, the last song I'm gonna play off this album is called "I'm Waiting for the Day" by the Beach Boys. That's a great one.
It's a good one.
All right. So that was "I'm Waiting for the Day" by the Beach Boys, and that's the last song we're gonna play from this album. And so Dominic, you never heard it before, right?
No, I haven't.
So what'd you think about the first couple of songs you heard? 'Cause I like doing like a first reaction sort of thing too.
I love it, man. You know, I love all classic stuff. You know, you can't go wrong with the Beach Boys, anyways.
Yeah, you really can't. Like, I think you can't go wrong with them until the whole fiasco with Brian Wilson. Because after that, I don't think really much good came out of the Beach Boys after. But I would say actually, "Smile." Have you heard "Smile"?
Of course.
Yeah, "Smile" by Brian Wilson is like he never recorded it. I mean, he recorded it, but he never released it as a member of the Beach Boys because of, I don't know exactly what happened.
He had issues with his, I think it was his brother or his cousin in the band.
I think it was Mike Love he had problems with.
It was Mike Love. He wanted, "Smile" is what he wanted "Smiley Smiley" to be. Mm-hmm. So that's the album he wrote, and then Mike Love was against it, and they changed it because he didn't like the direction he was going in, so then they released that album.
Yes, and they released "Smile," and Brian Wilson by himself released "Smile" a couple years later, actually a while later, and that's the one with "Good Vibrations" on it. And "Good Vibrations" is like one of the most like popular Beach Boys song, even though it's not an actual Beach Boys song.
Mm-hmm. Did you read it was the studio time was the most expensive song ever recorded?
No, I've never heard about that.
Good Vibrations. That's how much time the production company put into it.
Wow.
Is they put more studio time into that song than any other song ever.
That's wow.
Yeah.
Especially like with the way music's going, like I would think that would be topped. But it still hasn't been topped to this day.
No, just Brian Wilson. You know him, man.
Dang.
Perfectionist.
He really is. And that's probably why the band broke up.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I feel like some members just kind of wanted to make more money, which you can see now because like Beach Boys to this day are still touring.
A cash grab.
A lot. I mean, yeah, it's definitely a cash grab. Actually, we talked about this on a show a couple weeks ago.
Tours.
Like when bands do reunion tours, like we had an argument. Like some people were like, well, it's good because, you know, some people never got to see them back in their day, right? So it's like cool they get to see them now. Like actually I saw what's his name? Eric Clapton a couple weeks ago. And you know, it was still good. Like he's still but like I mean, it kind of is still a crash grab. You know what I mean?
Dead and Company.
Yeah, there's a lot of groups that are still like they're still touring just because they want to make more money.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, we had a heated argument about that because Gabe Alvalos, who's usually on my show, he's not here this week. He hates it. So does Rohan. Rohan hates cash grabs.
For it. I was for
Yeah.
comeback tours.
I was just kind of in between because, I don't know. I'd never been to one until Eric Clapton.
I wouldn't say I hate it. I don't know. I don't like respect it. I'm not like, oh yeah, woo. You know, they're gonna come back to it. Like, it's gonna be the better, like as good as it was before. But like, I don't know. You gotta make money, I guess.
Yeah, I guess you know you can't blame them.
Yeah.